Hello and welcome to another SEGA News Bits Live, aka the Sonic 3 movie show. Because honestly, I'm getting a little hyped for the movie, and whenever there is something to talk about regarding it, I kind of just want to jump on and do a SEGA News Bits Live. And on the last one, we talked about the toys. It was like a toy guide. On this one, I actually got some of them. So, I've been visiting my local Walmart for like other reasons, like, you know, regular shopping. But every time I go there, I check on my little guy. So this was a shadow bike that I tried to buy a couple weeks ago, and they dinged it, and they were like, "Nope, you can't buy it." And they took it from me, and then they said they were going to take the rest off the shelves. So I went back to the section, I grabbed one, and I just kind of kicked it under the shelf. And the last two times I went, I was like, I'll check on it. It's kind of like checking on a Chia Pet, and I'd look under it, and it was still there. I went today, and it wasn't there, and I was like, well, I guess I'll ask like a staff member if there's one in the back. But then I walked through the section with all the toy cars, and I guess a staff member like picked it up and just like put it in the toy car section because he's on a vehicle. So yeah, so I grabbed it. I'm sure they have more in the back, but that way. And this is, not the, I guess this is the Barry's Beef segment. We haven't done one of these for a while. But my beef is customer service at Walmart. I think it's, okay, wait, there's the sizzle sound effect. I think compared to Target, Walmart has not the best customer service. There's hardly any people like walking around that you can actually ask questions to, and when you do it, I feel like you're inconveniencing them. At least with Target, they bring up the thing like, "Oh yeah, I'll go grab it from the back." Anyway, I'm glad I didn't have to talk to someone. The other thing I got, is this big ass box. It's the Playset. It is the Crab Mech Battle Playset. I call it the Giant Enemy Crab because it reminds me of the PS3 announcement. And it comes with the 2.5-inch Sonic figure. So this is the 2.5-inch scale. If you remember from Sonic 2, they did the biplane, don't call it the tornado. They also did the giant Eggman battle mech, which isn't really, it was more like a little backdrop, and he like pounded his hands. And then lastly, I stopped at Target and I found this, and I was very happy because if you can see behind me there, I have Sonic and Tails from the movie. I have Ivo Robotnik from the movie. I do not have this Shadow, but I do have this one. And if you watched my collecting video, the collector's guide on the last one, this one's kind of like the more premium one. He's got the plastic eyes. He's got all the articulation. I think his hands have articulation. Whereas this one, it's a little cheaper. He doesn't have the clear plastic eyes. They're just printed on. His hands are not articulated. They're just stuck like that. But everything else seems to be... No, I don't think his waist is articulated. So anyway, enough about that. Let's pop some of these open. So first off, let's open this boy. All right, and there we go. And you might be saying, "Hey, Barry, I thought this was live." Well, I pre-recorded it in the event that some of these toys were really difficult to remove. And this one wasn't too difficult, but I didn't want to waste a minute of your time. So here we go. We've got all the little rubber bands and everything off. First, let's take a look at Shadow himself. Pretty similar to the... I don't really have him to compare, but yeah, it's the same... It's the same face. You know, it's the same figure. It's just a little cheaper. He doesn't have the waist articulation. He does not have the hand articulation. They're just closed because he's a motorcycle rider. And as mentioned, the eyes are not see-through plastic. But yeah, he looks cool. I don't know. Yeah, like if you can't find the carded one. And then here is him actually on the bike. Here's a look at the bike. There is no... One annoying thing, there's no gun insignia. It also shows, so these fold in for his feet. There is a kickstand. Oh, the kickstand does go down. So if you are displaying this, I can't show my table, but yeah, it stands up with the kickstand, which is nice. If you want to just show the bike. Turns like this. It's rubbery wheels, so that's nice. But there's no there's no action feature. Oh, actually, I think the action feature is parts of it falling off. That's not ideal, but it's the little. Yeah, that's about it. Not too much to it. It doesn't wind up. It doesn't make any noises, but it does look cool. And then, as I mentioned, Shadow, and he can ride it. Another character I want to introduce you to is Dr. Ivo Robotnik. So, as I mentioned in the collecting video, there are now 3 scales of this Robotnik. There is the 2.5 inch, a 4 inch, and now a 5 inch. So you get to have so many scales. And, you know, this is a Sonic 3 branded card. Oh, pardon me. It's going to get really loud. Sorry. This is a Sonic 3 branded figure, but it's very clearly the Sonic 2 Robotnik. I mean, we've seen him in the trailers now. He's got much more weight in the middle. His suit looks really damaged, and he kind of patches it up. So unless he like reverts to this at the end of the movie, or maybe he gets a new costume, but I'm happy with that. I love Sonic 2. So I'm happy to have like a larger version of the Jim Carrey Robotnik. I love his hands. He's got like these weird little fingers. His hands don't open and close like the larger, or like Sonic and Tails and stuff, but he can ride on the motorcycle, I'm sure, you know. So that's fun. But yeah, I think they really nailed his likeness. I think he looks really cool. It's a really fun figure for social media posting, because then you can just like take pictures of anything and include him, and it makes it better. So I'm very happy to have this. What else can I say? Now, lastly, we're going to get on to this one, and this is where I might cut out because I'm going to be opening it, and I don't want to waste everyone's time. But let's see what's inside. So, pop this open, and it's a giant enemy. Whoa! Yeah, some assembly required. So you can see in here, I've got a little work to do, so I'm going to cut away, and I'll be right back with the giant enemy crab. All right, and there we have it. It was not too difficult to put together. Thankfully, all of these back legs are identical, so you don't have to know like which one goes where. But there's 6 of them. Look at this thing. It's massive. It's a giant enemy crab. And I quite like it. I like that there's finally like a movie Eggman vehicle. I wish they did the Eggomatic from the second movie. You can see him flying around in it up there. But I am grateful that they made this. Look at this. It does pinching action. It's got, I thought this was a missile, but it's an extendable eye, which is really weird. I guess it's in the movie, it's going to like look at them as they talk to him. There's also 2 entrances. So there's actually, and I think we see this in the trailer, there's a rear entrance. So you can go up like this loading ramp, which has a little chair, which I think the little 2.5 inch Robotnik sits in here. And then on top of that, literally on top of that, is a spot on the top where a figure can actually sit in there. And it came with this little Sonic in a baggie. You know how much Jakks Pacific loves to give you Sonic figures. I have so many extra Sonic figures that I just like give them to children. It's just, you know, I'm like, they're like, oh, that's the guy who gives people free Sonic figures because he has too many of them. But yeah, look at this. So Sonic can actually, I guess, like, he can, I guess, sit up here and like he can use it. But you can also like, it can like eat them maybe, and then they go down inside, and then out the back comes Sonic. And like I said, there's like a little chair, but it's very clearly made for like a Robotnik or a humanoid, because Sonic doesn't really, I guess he kind of does. He can fold him up into it. But it's cool. I don't. So retail price for this was $29. Retail price for the bike with Shadow was $19, and then the Robotnik was $14.99. I'm gonna say worth it. I think this thing's really big, which is surprising, especially after the play sets we got with Sonic 2, which just they felt so small, and especially the Eggman's robot that they did. But this one, I think it's really fun. It's much more play worthy than like display worthy. It's so bulky that I honestly like for my display interests, I would probably put this in like a little storage tub basket thing, and then I'd let kids play with it rather than like putting it on a shelf because it's so big. But it is cool. And again, the things I showed off here was a 5-inch Jim Carrey, and then we've got a 5-inch Shadow, and then we've got this 2.5-inch scale giant enemy crab, which it's grown on me. I actually really like this thing. I might just like put it on the floor and treat it as a pet or something. But it's I don't. Let's bring on a guest. No, I think I didn't secure that arm. You're supposed to pop them in. I didn't do it on that one. But yeah, and then I guess the last thing I'll just note is like scale-wise, these are pretty off. I mean, look how huge Shadow is compared to him. I've seen a lot of people taking this one and then scaling it with the 2.5-inch figures, which I don't know what happened to the Sonic that I had. Was he inside? Is Sonic still inside here? Yeah, he is. But if you take a look at the scale of the 2.5-inch, it's a little... Actually, he looks like a little baby. I think if you take this one and scale it with the 4-inch figures from the Sonic 2 movie, then you got it. But yeah, this one, it looks like he's like baby Sonic. He can hold him. My boy, let me tell you about my gel Robotnik, So, anyway, that's it. Little impromptu SEGA News Bits live. I want to do more of these more often, especially when I get Sonic 2 or Sonic 3, stuff going on. Oh, speaking of Sonic 2, check this out. So sitting behind me here, I have a cast and crew hat for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. This was a little eBay buy, but it was not bad at all. It was like the price of a normal hat, so I quite like it. Look how tired I look. But at least I'm happy with my hat and these guys. So, all right, we'll see you next time on SEGA News Bits Live. Bye.